Dear brothers and sisters in Dhamma, Venerable Mahasangha, Upasaka and Upasika. From 2019, we experienced our country Malaysia, including other parts of the world, due to COVID-19, people already died a lot. And we were in a condition that enabled us to come to openly to the public. Really, we were getting upset. We were just like prisoners in a country. Whatsoever, when people died, you felt sorry and you were upset, and some people, all people died. Young people died, children died, pregnant mothers died, sick people died. Perhaps even though we didn't count, animals also have died. So it was a big threat, and because of the powerful virus. Perhaps when people die, can we guess what did they think? What came to their mind about the life? About the life, what did they think? Maybe, perhaps, sometimes when you are in sick bed due to different sicknesses, sometimes you might have thought, what is the life? Because you suffer, you think we will die very soon. Because of that, expecting the death, you think the utility or the use of the life. What for did we use the life? What we have done? What we have collected? Sometimes some people feel happy. Due to various reasons, some people feel unhappy due to lack of practices. Especially when people get ready to die, many of the people think what they have lacked, what they couldn't complete. Really, people become unhappy because of their inability to complete the spiritual section in the life. Do you understand? The spiritual section of the life. That's why at all the time the Buddha has recommended entirely the life should be pure. That's why he summarized, in order to practice Buddha's teaching in a simple way, saying that sabbapa passaha karadang kusalassa upasampada sacitta pariyodapanang etam buddhana sasanang. Sabbapa passa akaranang, not to do all the evil things or avoid doing evil things. Kusalassa upasampada. What's the meaning there? To do good or meritorious things. Sacitta pariyodapanam. Clean your mind or purify your mind. Etam buddhana sasanam. This is the teaching of all the Buddhas. He summarized the teaching of all the Buddhas. Then you can have the possibility to understand. It is easy to understand. Sabbapa passa akaranam means not to do evil things. Kusalassa upasampada, to do good things or meritorious things. Then sachitta pariyodapanam, clean your mind. When we conclude the meaning of these verses, what is the meaning? That means in order to save your spiritual behaviors, continue your spiritual behaviors, protect your spiritual behaviors or virtuous behaviors. Virtuous behaviors are very important. When we practice virtuous behaviors, there are 4 ways. First, if there is any evil thought or any evil practice in your mind, existing evil thought and practices, you have to stop them. Could you understand what I am telling? The existing evil thoughts or practices in your life, you have to stop. Then, secondly, you should not open your mind to recite for the new evil thoughts. You should not let your mind arise new evil thoughts or practices. That's the second way. Is it clear? You can talk, no problem. Thirdly, if there is any wholesome or meritorious practices or thoughts in your mind, whatever available, whatever exist in your mind as wholesome and meritorious practices or behaviors, the Buddha instructs you to continue all those things. And if there are new meritorious thoughts and practices, just motivate you to let your mind arise those new wholesome and meritorious thoughts and practices. These are the 4 ways that we have to practice in order to avoid all the evil thoughts or evil deeds and practice good, meritorious things and clean our mind. That's the instruction given by all the Buddhas in this world. Having said that, I would like to draw your attention on the slide. There is a word, Pali word. Can you pronounce that? Dhammachariya. So another word, we can meet Brahmacharya. So we are talking about Dharmachariya today. Dharmacharya is a concept, not a stereotype concept, not a just concept, but it is the most important concept in the world for us to be happy. The term Dhamma and the term Charya, these 2 terms are combined together in order to form one word. The word is Dharmacharya. Could you understand? There are 2 words. One is Dhamma, the other is Charya. Dhamma means doctrine or the teachings by the Buddha, Charya means behaviors. How you behave. So when we combine these two terms, Dhamma and Charya together, we can form a new term called Dharmachariya. Dhammacharya. Then the meaning is virtuous behaviors. Virtuous behaviors. Others can also talk about it as virtuous behaviors. In addition, you can define this as meritorious behaviors or else wholesome behaviors. Could you understand? We are talking about wholesome or virtuous or meritorious behaviors today in accordance with the teachings of the Buddha. Okay, let us discuss the meaning of the term Dharmachariya. Dharmacharya, as the Dhamma means principle, teachings of the Buddha, if there are teachings, there are principles or rules or instructions. Therefore, Charya means moral conduct. So, we can define the term Dharmacharya as the principle and moral conduct. Could you understand? Later on, you should not have the questions on the term. That's why I define it early. Then, principle and moral conduct. If not, you can describe it as the conduct in accordance with the 10 wholesome deeds. Could you understand? 10 wholesome deeds in Buddhism. Some give the English translation as virtuous behavior, as I said, or conduct in accordance with the Dhamma. Bhikkhu Bodhi would like to translate it as virtuous behavior or conduct in accordance with the Dhamma. Those who read Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation, they can understand this term. Then, Bhikkhu Sudasso, one of the great translators in Buddhism, he defines it as behavior consistent with the Dhamma. Behavior consistent with the Dhamma. In comparison to Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation, both wordings or terms bring the same idea. Is it? Yeah. They both bring same idea. Then I.B. Horner, he says, pairing by the Dhamma, the same meaning. So the term Dharmacharya in Buddhism can be defined in this way, in using different types of words in English language, but all the wordings indicate the same thing. Could you understand? Anybody else who cannot understand the meaning? You can understand. Then what do you think the rest of the crowd behind? You all can understand. Then our novice monks, could you all understand? Okay, good. I'm so happy. Then, this is how Buddha has defined the term Dharmacharya. For every word we should understand there is an opposite meaning. If we say good, the opposite one is bad. If we say tall, short, others also can say. If we say Silent? Noisy. Of course. In the same manner, when we say Dharmachariya, the opposite side is Adhammachariya. What is it? Adhammachariya. Adhammachariya. Adhammachariya has been defined by the Buddha in this way: Ko nuko bho gotama hetu ko pachayo yenadi madikkache satta kayassa bheda parammarana apayan duggating vinipatang nirayang uppajjati. Adhammacharya means what is. Someone questioned the Buddha, Master Gautama, what is the cause? What is Adhammacharya? What is the reason why some sentient beings, when their body breaks up, that means when they die, after death, they are reborn in a place of loss, maybe in poor place, then bad place, and also underworld or hell. When we talk about the rebirth, after the death, of course, people can be born. Some people, some sentient beings, in a bad place. Maybe if they are born in a human world, they can be poor, they can be beggars, they can be someone who is known as a bad person, bad birth. So maybe in the human world, maybe in the underworld or hell. There are reasons to be reborn in such places where suffering is. Then the Dharmachariya. What is Dharmachariya? Ko pana bho gotama hetu ko pachayo yena made kache satta kaya sabheda parammarana sugatin sagham lokam uppajjanti. Some people after the death, some sentient beings after the death, they would be reborn in a good place, heavenly realm, or in a higher place. Then the problem is, in this society, the beings, after the death, some would go to hell or bad place, some would go to heaven or higher place. Could you understand? That's what happened. What's the reason for this cause? For some to be born in a bad place, for some to be born in a good place. Is it? We have such questions. Then the Buddha said, therefore Adhammacharya, hence he defined as the evil behavior, unprincipled behavior, immoral behavior, unethical behavior or conduct, which contrary to the Dhamma, which is against the Dhamma, Buddha's teaching, or nature of the world, or law of the order of the law in the world. So the conducts by the people, when they are not in accordance with the Dhamma or behavior, when they are not principled and moral, of course, those causes, those reasons would cause you to be reborn in a bad place after the death. After the death. Then, Adhammacharya means the conduct in accordance with the Adhamma. Adhamma means 10 unwholesome deeds or demeritorious things or sins or evil deeds. If someone performs something evil by way of your mind, by way of your speaking, by way of your physical behavior, definitely those conducts or practices would be evil. They will cause you to be reborn in a bad state. Those evil practices and thoughts are called adhamma. Could you understand? Na dhamma, adhamma, which is not principle, which is not moral, which is not ethical. Then what are the 10 wholesome deeds? 10 wholesome deeds are defined as the behaviors of Dhamma in accordance with the Buddha's teaching. Those are called virtuous behaviors. Abstaining from killing living beings, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct, abstaining from the false speech, abstaining from divisive speech, abstaining from harsh speech, abstaining from talking nonsense, abstaining from coveting, abstaining from ill will, possessing right view. These are the 10 wholesome deeds. These are the 10 wholesome deeds. When you look at these things, already you know what is the meaning of these things as you have done, or as you have followed the talks regarding the precepts. Could you understand? I am touching your previous knowledge, of course. So, principle and moral conduct, 10 wholesome deeds, we can divide them into 3 baskets or folds on the basis of their way of performing. So, these 10 wholesome deeds are threefold by way of body. So, we consider them, you use your body to perform those things. So, giving up killing living beings, could you understand? Giving up killing living beings, that can be done by using your bodily parts. Then giving up stealing, you are doing stealing also using the body. And giving up sexual misconduct, all the sexual conduct you do by using your body. So when you give up killing, stealing and sexual misconduct, you do them by using your body. Therefore, they are considered as bodily actions. Bodily actions. Could you understand? Then because of the way you perform speech actions, they are fourfold. They are fourfold by way of speech. So if you give up telling lies, if you give up divisive speech means whatever you tell to break the unity of group of people, so break the peace, separate. For an example, I can say, in order to illustrate the matter, yes, whatever come to my mind, I would like to explain in accordance with the principles of the Dhamma. So there is a couple, and you would think, I love that boy or girl, so I want that man or girl. So what do you think? To own that girl or boy, you create different stories and tell to the other part, or the boy or girl, in order to separate the couple. Then you suggest yourself as boyfriend or girlfriend. Then what happened? You took the ownership of that relationship in dividing people, breaking the unity, breaking the harmony. Then what happened? You used your words, your you verbalize that. Whatever you express in words, they cause to break the unity, break up the relationship and to get another relationship with you. Some people maintain many individuals in that way. They try to get the authority of the people, so relationships or authority of relationship in dividing people. And they are going to be good people now. Sometimes some people, in order to increase the salary or in order to earn many more benefits, tell something divisive to the big boss of the company, and you just damage the image of others in telling something wrong. In that case, you use your words. Then some people speak harsh speech, harsh words. People can be hurted by way of your speaking. Therefore, even though the man is good, the woman is good, but the way they speak really hurt you. The words they use. The words they use. Then the giving up talking nonsense. Among us there are some people who talk unnecessary words. The words which are not useful. Could you understand? For the speaker also, they are not useful. For the listener also, they are not useful. Sometimes jokes can be in that case, because any word cannot be used for the hearer or speaker for their own development. Could you understand? Then talking nonsense, what is not relevant to the context, environment or the individual, they can be other words. Then in this way we speak the words in 4 ways. When we verbalize these things, telling lies, divisive speech, harsh speech and talking nonsense, we do something wrong. Then giving up doing all these 4 things, and if we don't use our words in these 4 ways, that would be beneficial for you. Then the threefold actions or the conducts are threefold by way of your mind. Those are called manokamma. Not covetous. Then having a kind and loving intentions and having a right view. You don't want to get anger, abhijja, and you don't want to get pride, then you may speak, you may think only loving and kind things or intentions in your mind. They are loving and kind. Then you have a strong view, correct view, with an understanding towards everything. When these three are collected, these things happen in your mind. As they happen in your mind, they are called threefold actions by way of mind or thinking. Could you understand? So whatever you think we call manokamma, they are threefold. Whatever you speak, they are called vachikamma, they are fourfold. Whatever you do use in your body, they are threefold, they are called kaya kamma. Is it clear? Okay, is it clear? That's good for you and for me. Then, in this way, we can discuss the matters in relation to concept of the Dharmachariya. Concept of the Dharmachariya. I'll give some example in order to elaborate. I said about the Maha Dhammapala Jataka in the evening for the novice monks and these upasikas. They are already what we call the behaviors in accordance with the observances of the 5 precepts cause Prince Dharmapala and cause Prince Dharmapala's family to have long life with good health. Then I talk it in terms of the practices of the parents. All those can be related to establish spiritual behavior or good conducts. Sometimes, you see, in a country, government can pass the acts to the parliament or whatever legal assembly in order to get the approval to implement. Sometimes we call the rules or the law and order. Why? Many rules in that concept exist for us to follow. That is because humans' behaviors are not good. That's why they are given to control human behaviors. For an example, you know the story that happened for the Buddha to preach the term what we call nahi verena verani sammanti da kudashanang averena cha sammanti esa dhammo sanantano. The Buddha says nahi verena verani, the hatred can never be defeated by hatred, or anger can never be defeated by anger. Nahi verena verani sammanti da kudachana. Averena cha sammanti. Instead, hate esa dhammo sanantano. Hatred or an anger can ever be defeated by what is? Averenacha. That is called loving kindness. Could you understand? By loving kindness, hatred can be defeated. That's also a reason. Mental conditions. If you cultivate hatred towards someone, you can never win. If you cultivate loving kindness towards someone, you can win forever. You would be the winner. Therefore, with reference to the story that caused Buddha to preach this verse, that's very important. In the previous times, a story happened. Kali. Called Kali, there was a female devil. Could you understand? She wanted to eat someone's child. That is because of the hatred cultivated by these two individuals from their previous birth. As I said, both were married to same person in a previous life. The first wife did not have children. Second wife because of that, the man brought second wife. She got children. This first wife felt jealous of that second wife. Then what she did, gave the poison with the food. That second wife died with bleeding, and her child also died. Then, when she was to die, she cultivated hatred towards the first wife, thinking, you gave me the poison and killed my life and my child. Then, hereafter, from next birth, I will eat your children. I will kill your children. Then the next life, they were born as animals. The second wife, in the same manner, destroyed the children of the first wife. Thereafter, in the following life also, it happened for many births until our Buddha meet them. Could you understand? Then throughout their sansaric journey, they have cultivated this intention of killing each other's children. Killing each other's children in order to satisfy themselves in cultivating hatred. So, they couldn't bring the happiness into their life. They have no mental freedom because of the intention that circle around the hatred. It went from many birth to many birth, one birth to another birth. Fortunately, our Buddha met them and explained, then they dropped their hatred and began to cultivate towards each other, including the children. Then they could listen to the Buddha and they understood their wrong behaviors, immoral behaviors, unprincipled behaviors. Throughout the sansaric journey, they stopped that after that they got happiness. That is called the behavior is very important. That is called Dharmachariya. So behavior is very important in that regard. There are so many aspects in Buddhism in that way. If you cultivate hatred, jealousy, maybe what we call any other negative emotions or attitudes towards someone, and if you try to avoid someone's astonishing achievements because of your attitudes towards the person, that would negatively affect. Sometimes, not sometimes, but always, remember, whatever we think, whatever we listen to others, they all are not correct at all the time. Therefore, if you can focus on your bodily actions, your verbal actions, your mental actions, those would bring happiness into your life with success, with the blessings. So they all should be moral, they all should be principle and ethical. Then your ethical, moral and principle behaviors cause you to have good conditions in the life until you attain the Nibbana, and they will support you to shorten the samsaric life as well. That's all for today. If you have any questions, you can raise. I will take 10 minutes to answer you or your questions. I think that's enough for today.